Hey, I thought I'd show something new that they added during my hiatus with this game. So I unlocked the whole item pool earlier today on stream. I did like, I don't know how many runs, I think I did like 5 runs. So normally this is where you purchase your items, but when you purchase all the items and you go back into the safe house, you get the Undeveloper. Basically you can re-roll any of these 3 items and then you select them and it takes another soul chip to remove them. So you also have this over here, which allows you to take items into the next run. So you might want to check over here first, see if there's anything nice. Like a ninja sash is always pretty good, give you some run speed. So obviously this one gives you 5 attack damage, you want to keep that. These are all pretty good items. Honestly, this game it's different from most roguelikes in that there aren't a lot of trash items. So removing things from the pool is just more for your personal preference, like what you like to take in a run versus other roguelikes where, you know, sometimes there's like 3 dozen trash items that you never want. It's not really like that in this game. You kind of just take out, you know, whatever you don't want to play with that run. And since this only unlocks once you complete the unlock path, you know, the unlocking in the game, you have the whole item pool. You have a lot of soul chips to work with. The only other thing you have to spend on is this, which is your next run items. Neither of these are that great. Powers is probably really great for a Nina player, but for Ace it's kind of not the best. And you can spend it on tokens. So most of your soul chips, your currency is going to go over here. I think these are all... I want to go ahead and take this out. So now that won't show up in the run anymore. So it only costs 1 soul chip to re-roll and then 1 to remove an item. You can see it's a little bit of a harder decision than a lot of other games like this because there's not that many trash items. And if you're lucky, you can find the exact item that you don't want. But it's easier said than done. I never take that item, so take that out. So you can see this takes a while, so it does add a little bit of time between each run for you to get started, but I think it's worth it. I think it's nice that they have an option here where you can actually remove a bunch of junk from the pool. I still have 25 soul chips left, so hopefully I can find something I really don't want to take, like the axe. Hover's not that great. Go ahead and take that out. You can see I actually have to like think about this because none of these items are bad per se. They're just like not something I particularly want to take. I imagine once people, or if people start speedrunning this is going to be a pretty big part of it. Waiting until you have a run, you know, where you get a bunch of soul chips and then you come here and you try to take out as much junk as possible. Or not even necessarily junk, just stuff that you don't want for that particular run. Right, so I wasn't able to remove as much as I wanted, but I'll go ahead and I'll do a run. I'm not going to do a full run because this channel has been 20xx all day, every day for a couple days now, but I'll do like 2 or 3 levels so you guys can see. Like I was not able to remove the Owl Hawk set. I didn't have enough points. So even when you unlock everything, you still have the option of making things easier. Now the achievements in this game are actually pretty difficult. They're not just simple stuff like, you know, beat the game or kill 500 enemies or something. Like, they actually have some pretty difficult tasks. And you can use the Undeveloper in easy and normal mode. And you can only get achievements on normal mode. So you can use the Undeveloper to your advantage, and you can remove some trash items or whatever you don't want for whatever objective you're going for. Like if you're going for the achievement where you take no powers and you beat the game with the base weapon, you know, a thing that you could take out is like anything related to power damage, since you wouldn't be using powers. Make sure that more damage items spawn. So I think it'll be a pretty interesting strategy for people who are achievement hunting in this game. The achievements are pretty fun. Some of them are kind of ridiculous, like ones that like require you to have like 5 skulls on at once. I don't think I would ever care to do something like that, but for the people who are interested in doing that, it's definitely going to add an interesting dynamic to it. I'm probably not even going to finish this run, so let's just proceed. Try to go as far enough so that you guys can see the difference in what drops. So on average, when you finish a run, you will get about, I'd say, anywhere from 45 to 60 soul chips, depending on how nice the game is and how far you get. So that's a pretty significant amount of rerolls. Okay, if I do this, it's going to take forever, so I'm just going to go here. I'll probably just exit out this run. Now, I don't want to spoil it. I actually can't spoil it, but on the 30th, there's going to be a pretty big surprise for the channel. So on the 29th, there will be Muso Stars, and however that port turns out, I'll definitely get out a port review for that as soon as possible. And on the 30th, there's going to be a pretty big surprise. I'm currently working on it. I don't know how much footage I will have of that particular game. But on the 30th, you guys will see it. I can't say more than that right now, because there's an embargo. That should be a pretty big hint there, but I can't elaborate any further. But on the 30th, there's going to be a pretty unexpected surprise, and it's going to be earlier than when it's available for release. So you can be sure to check that out. I know some people probably don't enjoy watching this game. I have not played it for a long time, so it does feel a little bit fresher than it did when I was playing it like for 2 hours a day. And they've definitely changed things a lot since I took a break. So that helps to kind of keep it interesting too. See, like right there, that was something that I always had, or that I worked on keeping in the pool, as you just saw me earlier. Now, if you really wanted to get crazy, I think the ideal way to speedrun this game would be it'd be really wacky, really strenuous. Now that I think of it, the best way would be to play on with the skulls on to increase the enemy count, and to have it on endless mode, and then farm up like I don't know, 200 soul chips or something, and you could pretty much remove everything from the drop pool except the exact things that you wanted at that point. The problem with that is that farming up those soul chips would take such a long time. You'd probably have to like back up your save or something. But thinking about it, that would be a pretty good way to do it. I don't know who's going to be crazy enough to do that, but just theory crafting in my head, that would be the best way to speedrun the game. Alright, I'm going to do one more here. Well, you can see a little bit of influence in terms of what I removed with the Undeveloper in regards to what's dropping and what isn't. I kind of wanted to get rid of that because of the fact that I don't really use powers as ace except for utility and a couple boss weaknesses, depending on what the run is looking like. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough. You're never going to have enough to remove everything, but you can at least put a little more identity into your run. See, I removed most of the other armor pieces besides the ones that I wanted, so that actually had a higher chance of dropping. What's interesting about the way that the air dash and the double jump are balanced compared to when I first started is that the double jump, you actually don't get as much height as the first jump. You get like, I don't know, I think it's like half or something. Whereas the air dash, you get the maximum distance pretty much every time. Ah, there we go. So these are pretty much all items that I specifically avoided disabling in the item pool. Now they're dropping pretty often. I don't know if you could do it with the weapons or not. I didn't see them in either time that I tried this, but I could be wrong. Anyway, that's a good enough example of the Undeveloper, so I'm going to go ahead and end the video after this here. I missed when the roaster looked creepy. Now he's just a hamster in a wheel. Not sure why they designed him like that. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and stop there. And yeah, the Undeveloper is a pretty cool mechanic. You can have a little bit more control over your run, which is it's ironically, it's a lot harder decision in this game versus other games in this genre where you have a lot of trash items that just aren't ever worth taking unless you're in a very specific situation where you have like maybe the one or two items that synergize with it. This game, pretty much all the items are good. There's just some that some people don't prefer to take. A lot of people like the flying and the hover over the double jump because it helps on level 9, but if you're a speedrunner or you're like me and you don't necessarily speedrun this game and you like just going fast, then the double jump and the air dash are better in every way because they keep your momentum and the fly and the hover don't. So say if you don't like the fly or the hover for those reasons then you can remove them. If you don't like the double jump and the air dash because you like the safety of the flying and the hovering, you don't care that those you know, 2 movement options don't carry your momentum, then you can remove those as well. So I'll probably maybe I'll actually show the re-rolling process in the next run I do. Anyway, I hope this helps. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.